Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is David Hyman, your tour guide in Israel. Today we are touring in Jerusalem and we're going to check out these monumental tombs that were carved in the rock within the valley of Kidron over 2,000 years ago. The tomb of Zechariah, the tomb of the sons of Hezir, and the pillar of Avshalom, Absalom's pillar. So stay tuned if you'd like to hear all about these monumental tombs. The easiest way to get here is to find the southern eastern corner of the old city. And from here, right opposite, there is a paved path with stairs that you can walk down to the valley of the Kidron, and that is where all these monumental tombs are. And you can just follow the sign that says Yad Avshalom, Absalom's pillar. The valley that we can see here divides these two mountains. Mount of Olives on the east side and the mountain of Moriah on this side of the valley. That's the wall of the Temple Mount. So the Mount of Olives is facing the old city of Jerusalem, and we know that burial was not allowed within the walled city, and therefore since the first temple period Jews have been burying their dead on Mount of Olives facing Jerusalem and the closed gates of mercy, Sha'ar HaChamim. It is believed that Mount of Olives shall be the site of the arrival of the Messiah, the Mashiach. And when that happens, all wars will end, there will be no more disease and famine, and the dead will rise from their graves. And therefore, Jews from all over the world have a strong desire to be buried here at the Mount of Olives cemetery. Some of the famous names that are buried here: Shai Agnon, the novelist; Henrietta Sald, the founder of Hadassah; Harav Kook, the first chief rabbi of Israel; and our sixth prime minister, Menachem Begin. But we're looking for the most ancient one, the oldest ones that we can find, without a doubt, in the Mount Olive Cemetery, is this one here. It is called Absalom's pillar, Yad Avshalom. And since the Middle Ages and as late as the 19th century, everyone referred to this tomb as Absalom's pillar, and this is because of the biblical reference. This is from the second book of Samuel, chapter 18. During his lifetime, Avshalom had taken a pillar and set it up for himself in the king's valley. For he said, "I have no son to perpetuate my name." The pillar which he named for himself is called Avshalom's monument to the present day. And since everyone believed this is Avshalom's pillar, the tradition was to throw rocks at it, as mentioned in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 21, which is the punishment of the rebellious son. And Avshalom, being the rebellious son to his father, King David, deserved such treatment. In the middle of the 19th century, the first European explorers took a closer look and even cleaned the monument and removed all the rocks. Their scientific observation were that it is absolutely impossible that Avshalom built or was buried here. The design, the architectural style, the ionic pillars, the doric frieze, all point out that it was built at least 1,000 years later than Avshalom's days. Let's take a closer look. The monument is 20 meters high. The base is a monolithic unit carved from 3 sides out of the rock of Jerusalem. On the top of the solid rock monolith, using similar building blocks, a round drum was added and topped by a funnel-shaped roof with a lotus flower on the top. Behind the pillar, to the left, there is an entrance to a large burial cave with 9 rooms, all carved out of the rock. All the scholars agree that the pillar and the burial cave are from the same period and were both carved and prepared as one enormous project. The pillar itself is hollow in the center, and a staircase leads from an upper entrance down into 2 burial ledges in the center of the pillar. So without a doubt, this is an extraordinary technological achievement. The magnitude of the project, the beauty of it, the detail, they are all mind-boggling. There are only 2 problems left to resolve. When was it built, and who was buried here? Maybe we can find some clues at the next door neighbors. So just 20 meters away, on the same rock face a little to the south, we find a similar complex, a large carved burial cave and a stone pillar connected to it. But here, an inscription was found, revealing many much-needed details. The inscription in Hebrew tells us that this is the tomb and the NEFESH of 4 generations of priests from the family of Hezir. The name Hezir appears in the Bible in the first book of Chronicles, chapter 24. They are the 17th division out of the 24 divisions of priests who served at the temple in Jerusalem. So using the inscription and the architectural style of the ionic columns, we can narrow the time frame of these tombs from the end of the 1st century BC and into the 1st century AD. Let's focus on the stone pillar. It is very similar to Absalom's pillar, but has 2 major differences. The roof is a pyramid shape, and it is a solid rock pillar. There is no burial chamber carved within it. This is the NEFESH mentioned in the inscription. So NEFESH means soul in Hebrew, but the word NEFESH was also used by Second Temple scholars to describe a tombstone as a marker on a grave. And this tombstone could be just a rock or a pillar, and if the people that were buried were very wealthy, they probably would prefer to build a very large, tall, significant tombstone to publicize their wealth and the importance of the family, and these 2 enormous pillars were the NEFESH for these burial graves. Let's return to Absalom's pillar for another final look. I think it's safe to say that this burial complex with the carved caves and the 20-meter high NEFESH, the stone pillar, were carved in the rock to serve the burial needs of one of Jerusalem's aristocratic families from the 1st century period. The family could be maybe from the Hasmonean dynasty, and for a while it was suggested that This is the tomb of Alexander Jannaeus. It's also possible that it belonged to a family of priests from the 1st century, just like the neighbors, the family of Hezir. In recent years, a new suggestion was offered by archaeologist Professor Gavriel Barkai that this tomb and the caves next to it are royal tombs. They were built by King Agrippa I. He was the grandson of King Herod the Great, and he himself was buried in what we call today Absalom's pillar. So until actual evidence is found, let's just admire the beauty of this 2,000-year-old monument and enjoy the mystery surrounding it. So I hope you all enjoyed this tour of Jerusalem, Kidron Valley, and the monumental tombs. So if you did, please give me a big thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. And please write a comment, let me know where you'd like to go on our next tour of wonderful Israel. So, toda rabba everyone, shalom shalom, litraot, see you on our next tour.